Regrets. We've all had them, whether it be fashion, haircuts, tattoos, or in my case, all of the above. When reflecting back on the performers who've been given the task of leading WWE forward as the company's champion, it doesn't always make for good reading for WWE. And, of course, by WWE, that means Vince McMahon. With that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 8 wrestlers WWE regret making world champion. Number 8, Jinder Mahal. Yep, this happened. It wasn't some sort of weird fever dream back in 2017. Yes, May 2017's Backlash pay-per-view sprung one of the more, are you f***ing kidding me moments in recent WWE history as Jinder Mahal defeated Randy Orton to become WWE champion. Yes, the same Jobber Supreme of 3MB fame had now been given a shot at carrying one of the biggest prizes in the wrestling business. And you thought the star of that band was going to be Drew. Jinder would actually embark on a 170-day reign as WWE champion, although his spell on top was nauseating. Not only that, but the bigger picture and the more concerning matter for WWE brass saw SmackDown's ratings tumble to worrying low after worrying low during the Calgary natives' time on top. WWE should be commended for taking a shot on trying to elevate a talent to the status of WWE champion, but that experiment, how can I put this? Failed on every bloody level, be it TV ratings, match quality, or entertainment value. The fact that Jinder Mahal hasn't been anywhere near the main event scene since his failed WWE Championship run should be enough to tell you that WWE regrets ever taking a chance on the modern-day Maharaja. Still, though, it brought back the great Khali, so it's not all... no, actually, it is. Number 7, Rob Van Dam. For years, fans had been clamoring for WWE to finally go all in on Rob Van Dam. The ECW icon had regularly proved to be one of the most popular stars under the WWE banner, and the wrestling world held out hope that WWE would finally give RVD the ball to run with. Well, not only did WWE have the whole effing show go over John Cena at 2006's One Night Stand pay-per-view to become WWE champion, the company also had RVD head up the relaunched ECW brand as the ECW champion. But wait! A few moments later, Van Dam's time as WWE champion lasted just 22 days, with him being arrested for drug possession and subsequently handed a 30-day suspension. Sure, RVD's WWE Championship one-night stand win was a brilliant moment in a white-hot environment, but the cold, hard fact of the matter is that Rob Van Dam will forever be remembered as the world champion who was popped for drug possession. Number 6, Billy Graham. There's no doubting superstar Billy Graham's place in wrestling history. Graham was positioned as the top-tier heel who served as the link between Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund. Despite his status as a trailblazer whose unique and colourful charisma helped to lay the foundations for what was to come from the likes of Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura, and Ric Flair, Vince McMahon and WWE must regret ever having any sort of association with Billy Graham. In the years since his in-ring days came to an end, Graham has been involved in a whole host of unsavory incidents that must surely have Vince pulling his wig out. Even after Graham had sued WWE in 1994 on the accusation of forcing him to take steroids, then admitted to making up lies about sexual abuse within the company in order to extract money from McMahon, the company still put the superstar into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2004. Oh dear. Following that Hall of Fame induction, Billy Graham would sell his Hall of Fame ring in 2009, citing medical expenses. But Superstar went further to irk WWE by lambasting Linda McMahon during her 2010 Senate campaign, asked to be removed from the Hall of Fame after Abdullah the Butcher was inducted, and has spent the past year encouraging WWE stars such as Kofi Kingston and Adam Cole to take steroids. Yikes. Number 5, Jack Swagger. You can understand why Vince McMahon would take a punt on Jack Swagger as a world champion. He's a tall, well-built, good-looking grappler with a legitimate amateur background. There was, and still is, a huge upside to the University of Oklahoma graduate. To say Jack Swagger's time as world heavyweight champion was forgetful would be a huge understatement, though. Simply put, fans just didn't care. WWE decided to pull the plug on Swagger's championship reign after barely 3 months, with the Real American spell with Big Gold not helped by the fact it was preceded by a white-hot Chris Jericho versus Edge rivalry, The Undertaker having a memorable 140-day run with the belt, and a fantastic feud between CM Punk and Jeff Hardy. After losing the World Heavyweight Championship to Rey Mysterio at June 2010's Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view, Swagger's fall from grace was spectacular, as he was soon handed the Swagger Soaring Eagle mascot, before eventually becoming Michael Cole's trainer ahead of Cole's WrestleMania 27 match against Jerry Lawler. Still though, he's in AEW now, and my best friend, so every cloud. Number 4, Finn Bálor. Upon debuting on the main roster in July 2016, Finn Bálor made an instant impact by beating Seth Rollins to become the inaugural WWE Universal Champion at that year's SummerSlam, which took place merely a month after Bálor was drafted to Raw. Sadly, that same SummerSlam bout saw Finn sidelined with a shoulder injury which rendered him out of action for 7 months. Forced to vacate the Universal Championship, Balor's chance to run with the ball as the face of the Raw brand was cruelly taken away. After Finn returned from that unfortunately timed injury, it took months for the Irishman to even acknowledge that he'd never actually been beaten for the title and that he'd yet to receive a rematch for the gold. To be blunt, WWE Creative conveniently kept Bálor away from his rightful Universal Championship rematch until the night after SummerSlam 2018. 2 years since he had to give up the belt. Since then, various reports have surfaced online to suggest that Vince McMahon has rarely had faith in Finn and that he doesn't think he's ever been over, and that the former NXT champion is too damn small. The consensus is that McMahon wasn't particularly behind Bálor in the first place, and his return to injury has proven that time and time again. All I'll say is, thank God for NXT. Number 3, Ultimate Warrior. For a period of time, there is no denying that the Ultimate Warrior was the most explosive and energetic personality in the wrestling industry. But while we fans got to see an electric, frenetic ball of vibrant energy, WWE brass got to see the other, more, let's just say, unsavory side of Warrior. The Ultimate One did the unthinkable though and toppled Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6 to become WWE Champion and the new face of the company in a passing of the torch. And then it was at SummerSlam 1991 that Warrior famously held McMahon up, not like that, as he refused to perform unless Vince agreed to pay him $550,000 for that year's WrestleMania 7. At the risk of losing his SummerSlam main event, McMahon agreed, but then fired Warrior directly after the pay-per-view. The 90s featured a few problematic returns to the then WWF for Warrior, with lawsuits never far away. Yet it was years later when Ultimate Warrior really began to show his true colours, as he'd write plentiful blogs and post various videos in which he made racist, homophobic and generally xenophobic comments too, to the point that he mocked Bobby Heenan for being diagnosed with cancer and claimed that those killed in the atrocities of Hurricane Katrina would not be missed. Number 2, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's Money in the Bank cash-in on the post-WrestleMania 29 episode of Raw received one of the biggest pops in recent memory. After years of trying to get through that ever-familiar glass ceiling, Dolph had finally done it as he took the World Heavyweight Championship from Alberto Del Rio to a monstrous reaction. Just over 2 weeks later, though, Ziggler received a concussion courtesy of a stiff kick from Jack Swagger, and that, sadly, would eventually lead to WWE losing all faith in Dolph. Not only did his concussion cause 2-month absence from TV deflate the huge momentum Ziggler had upon winning the World Heavyweight Championship, but his return to action saw him immediately lose the title to ADR, and then WWE just seemingly lost all faith in Dolph Ziggler as being world champion material. Vince McMahon was hesitant to ever go with Ziggler as a world champion in the first place, and the concussion saw McMahon regret ever doing so, as highlighted in the reports of Vince then thinking Dolph was injury-prone before the star then returned to the mid-card for the following years. Number 1, Chris Jericho. From 2008 until 2010, Chris Jericho embarked on a legendary heel run that is easily one of the best of the modern era. During those years, the self-proclaimed best in the world at what he does managed to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship an impressive 3 times. While WWE is likely mildly irked that those reigns are now attached to the top star in burgeoning rival promotion AEW, it's Jericho's time as WWE's first ever Le Undisputed Champion that is the focus of attention here. The simple fact of the matter is that there can only ever be one first undisputed WWE champion. For WWE, they now get to see the top star of a rival organization parading around and proudly proclaiming himself as the first ever undisputed champ, who of course loves a little bit of the bubbly. There's no direct mention of WWE in Le Champion's words, yet everybody knows that this is clearly a reference to the December 2001 Vengeance pay-per-view, which saw Jericho defeat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night to hold the newly created biggest prize in the business. You can only imagine how much Vince McMahon must now regret handing that prestigious undisputed WWE champion honor to Jericho back on that 01 night, and how much Vince must cry himself to sleep at the fact that Triple H was out injured during the crowning of the inaugural undisputed WWE champion. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts as well. Plus, you can check out more recent videos here. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.